Well, I can definitely picture that being used in a movie, like maybe something like Woody Allen's film Sweet and Low Down.
Right, yeah.
Have you ever suggested using one of your solo recordings in a film you were working on, or does that seem like cheating to you?
I think I would suggest if it fit, but when you're writing it for a particular, when you're writing music for a particular scene, it's just tailor made for that purpose. Mm-hmm. So it's very hard to plug in something I wrote, like for myself.
Cowboy G or something.
Yeah, it just hasn't really. I know that I can do better. Just getting a fresh take on it and illustrating some emotional level of the scene. If I do it right then and there with the picture, as opposed to trying to plug in something I wrote.
I just meant if like Jonathan Karp or Judd Apatow was describing what they wanted, you said, "Hey, I already wrote that. It's on Purple Passages, track 7. Let's just use it." That kind of thing. Not really.
Well, the thing is, I never have someone asking me, "What we really need is a 9-minute piece that has 6 movements that has a 3-minute guitar solo."
Right. Well, according to the liner notes for Harmonic Crusader, the violinist on that track was Karen Briggs.
Yes.
She deserves some kudos for her fine playing on that as well.
Yeah.
And speaking of personnel, you got some pretty familiar and big names on your albums. You got drummers like Vinnie Colaiuta, Simon Phillips, Prairie Prince, who also did some of your artwork.
All the artwork, yeah.
All the artwork, all 3 albums?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, well, those are like pretty decent drummers right there as a trio.
Yeah.
Let's talk for a minute about some of the other artists whose albums you've played on. That list would include bands like Jellyfish and They Might Be Giants, artists like Todd Rundgren, Frank Black, Sheryl Crow, Lisa Marie Presley, Colin Hay, Shakira, Norah Jones, and many more. And in addition to that session work, you've also gone out on tour with some big artists like Beck and Sting. And I gather that those particular tours were very different experiences. And the Beck Midnight Vultures tour, the stage was really crowded with musicians. You had to be careful not to turn around and clock someone with your guitar. And then with Sting at Live 8, for example, it's just the two of you and Dominic Miller and a drummer trying to fill a huge stage. So which of those scenarios did you prefer?
I prefer the less is more.
Yeah,
it translates so much better to a big stadium when there's less people playing. Mm-hmm. There's just more room for you.
Right.
But there's good and there's pros and cons of each. I loved that Midnight Vultures run. Mm-hmm. Made some really good, long-lasting friendships that to this day Victor Indrizza, who played drums, we auditioned the same day for Beck, and he's played on all my scores.
Yeah.
And he is the drummer in Infant Sorrow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that was 10 years ago that we worked with Beck.
How did the quality of the hotel rooms and the flights compare between Beck and Sting?
Oh, they went up.
I'll bet. That guy's living large, huh, Sting?
Yeah.
Well, he's earned it. He's earned it. He's great.
Well, he's incredible. The first thing he told me is, this is not a Police cover band. He goes, just do your thing. Just be yourself. And that's the amount of fun that I have on tour is sort of directly proportionate to the amount of being yourself. You can be. The more you can express who you are as a musician in the context of the music, the more fun you have. And certainly with Sting, he just do your thing, man. And also, I must say that was the case for Frank Black. Mm-hmm. It's pretty much free reign to interpret his songs in the way that I did and respond musically.
Right. Well, I've always felt that what's the point of bringing in somebody who's talented and then telling them what to do? The whole point is let them bring their talent to your project, and that's the whole point of having them there. Really, don't just say, "Here's a chart, play everything on that chart." Anybody can do that. So. Absolutely,
but you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how many times people want you to sort of.
Yeah.
But you know what? But I have to say that. The more you sort of work up the ladder in terms of the work, and the more you find that people get it. Like, okay, they're real good producers, they're real good people you work with at the top. They get that. Like, you know what? You're who you are because of what you do, and this is the framework, and do your thing.
Well, since we're talking about that ladder, why don't we just backtrack to the very first rung? And you were doing a session with a band who had a key member who was friends with Jon Favreau, who you mentioned, and Vince Vaughn. They asked him to write the score for that film you mentioned, Made.
Mm-hmm.
He asked you to help him because he didn't feel confident about doing it himself. You know, if you hadn't have gotten that opportunity, do you feel like you were on a collision course anyways with scoring career, or do you think it's possible that you might have never got into scoring?
That is a really good question. I'm not sure I can answer that. My basic philosophy is to just do whatever I can when the work comes through, and if someone asks if I can do something, even if I don't know if I can, I say yes, I can. And that's kind of helped me learn how to swim by being thrown in the water, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I really don't know if I had not gotten that job. I'm not sure. I probably would have.
I think so too.
There was really there was nothing about that movie that sealed the deal for me to start working with all the other, because it was a good couple of years where I really didn't do any film work in between Made and 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Let's go even further back in time, and Flat McScruggs was asking about Red Booty the other day.
Oh my gosh, you must have been talking with Michael Urbano, right?
We're going to go all the way back to Sacramento, Bourgeois Tag,
cool.
before you even had a record deal. I used to rehearse in the room next door to you guys at the Entertainment Factory.
Oh my gosh.
And I saw you guys play at Shire Road Pub before you had your record deal, and then I actually saw that Crest Theater gig not long after you had your record deal. So
right, yeah.
I go back quite a ways. I remember one time you were playing a solo, and I remember Brent Bourgeois and Larry Tagg sort of exchanged this look, sort of like rolled their eyes, like, it was kind of one of those, hey, this guy's good kind of things. Like.
You sure it was not this again?
No, it was kind of like, I can't believe he just played that. He's so awesome, man. Yeah, I actually spoke with Michael earlier in the day. I said, what question can I ask or comment can I make that would catch Lyle by surprise and make him laugh? And that's what he gave me. And clearly it achieved that goal.
Well, that question doesn't surprise me, coming from Scratch My Crotch.
Okay, well, we'll leave that in for a private message between you guys. Well, of course, you were with Bourgeois Tag with Michael, and you were also on the first Todd Rundgren album, Nearly Human, that Bourgeois Tag basically was Todd's band for, and toured with him in Japan. Now, you stayed with Todd a little longer than Michael did. What did you think about working with Todd Rundgren?
I've been a big fan for years. It's when you get to work with a musical hero, and you love their music, and you're hearing yourself playing that music with someone you really like. Mm-hmm. It's just a great feeling, That's what you aspire to, as a musician. And Todd, I just thought he was writing just beautiful music at the time, and it was just remarkable to be a part of that.
And you guys stepped in when he was doing the thing where he wanted to do everything live with no overdubs too, so that was a little different. So
it was all done. In the case of Nearly Human, we live recording in a studio, and then in the case of Second Wind, it was recorded live for an audience. But that was a really unique scenario because it was like a stage it was like a recording studio on a stage, and so we weren't positioned on the stage as we would performing, all of us facing the crowd. We're sitting in chairs facing in and not interacting or performing. We're just playing our music, and it's kind of a brilliant way to fund an album, really, if you think about it.
Yeah, pay money to come watch us record the album.
Yeah.
But I know when people are watching you, there's an audience. It adds a different dimension to the playing of everybody.
It adds. So we're able to get, the comfort of not having to perform in a way, but also the advantage of being able to have audience feedback, and have some of that energy.
It's surprising that no one thought of that idea before.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's pretty genius, and just great music. I'm so proud of those two records I made with Todd.
And what was your first gig after leaving Todd? Was it your choice to leave, or did he just shut things down, or?
You know what? He had some more touring he wanted to do, and I was just dead set on making my first solo record. You know, I think at that point, we're talking 1990, 91 maybe. I think at that point I'd sort of just done the sideman guy and being in a band, and I just wanted to sort of explore on my own and record and make my own music. And I was so dead set on it that I turned it down, and I recommended a local musician I'd met, and he continues to play with Todd to this day. Jesse Gress is his name, and he ended up marrying Todd's road manager, Mary Lou. But yeah, it just was time for me to expand and do something different, you know.
Which brings us to today, where you can do session work for other people, you can do solo albums for yourself, you can do movies, a little bit of TV. I mean, you've really got a diversified career going, and, you know, here's my prediction. I not only predict more scores, but I predict Oscar nominations followed by Oscar wins.
Well, that's really nice of you. I mean, I don't know about that, but I just want to do good work. You know, I want to be involved in inspiring projects and work with good players and good artists and just try to do something that's hopefully has a stamp of myself in it. You know, I'm too close. I'm too, you know, subjective. Can't be objective about that. You know, just want to try to keep the integrity there and keep learning, because, you know, there's just so much I don't know, obviously. And the scope of film music is just encapsulates such a broad range. You know, there's so much to learn.
Yeah, when in your solo albums would you write Blind Medicine or Jumbo Shrimp? You know, it's like the film work brings things to the forefront and challenges you in those ways.
Yeah, that's the great thing about it. You know, it's great to be not suddenly, but it's great to be in a studio with, you know, 45 orchestral musicians playing your music. You know, it's great to have these. The film work allows those kinds of opportunities.
Yeah, and I think the work you've already done proves that you have the versatility to do a rocked out thing like Get 'Em to the Greek, or a more introspective thing like Win Win, or pretty much anything they need for 40-Year-Old Virgin. So you've proven to the industry you can do anything they need. They just need to keep giving you the projects.
Yeah, that's what I keep saying. Yeah, you want it to keep coming, and I've been really blessed in that it seems to come. So just keep doing your best work as you can, and try to be a good person in the process.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you for being on the show. I appreciate you calling in.
Thank you so much, Dan.
I'm going to close the show now with one of my favorite tracks from Lyle's debut album, Purple Passages. It's called Lionhearted. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.